I'm here with Tom Torello from Salem State, and Tom, you've been doing communications for education for nearly 2 decades.
Yeah, easily. I think it's just coming up on my 20th anniversary
Wow.
of doing this. Yeah, I moved from agency side to higher ed back in the 90s. Yeah.
Now, would you agree that communications for education has become increasingly more complex in the last 3 to 5 years?
It has, just because the number of channels we have to reach our audiences has changed so dramatically. I'm coming here 20 years ago. People weren't talking about marketing even, because that was sort of a dirty word in higher ed. It was almost like we had a secret convention of people who nobody had marketing in their titles. We were just starting to talk about whether or not you needed a website. I remember Michelstoner being one of those people who was out there saying, yes, you absolutely, this is a huge marketing tool, and we had to fight that battle back home. I said, yes, we need to invest. The library shouldn't be the ones who own the website. It really should be marketing with a partnership with ITS. And then we've added over the years things like social media. All those channels just add such complexity to it and opportunity at the same time. So we have a chance to reach our audiences in different ways. That means just a lot more strategic approach than we've had to have before. Not we weren't strategic before, but just bringing all that together, in a sort of seamless way it changes every day.
How do you do it then?
You come to places like the AMA conference to try to stay on top of things, so you understand what best practices are. The nice thing about higher education is we share our best practices. Not too many industries do that, so we're competitive in some ways, but we're very collegial in other ways too. So I come here and try to learn from others and see what they're doing. So the challenge for us is, kind of pick your battles. We wish we could do everything. We wish we could have the best Twitter's account. We wish we had the best printed materials. But where can we be the best? Where can we put our limited resources and try to be the best in those areas, and then try to do okay at everything and not great at anything. So for us, we're really focused. We're about to redesign our website because we know it's such an important tool for us, and that we're behind on that. It's not a responsive design. It really isn't. The information architecture isn't what it should be, so we've got a lot of work to do.
Mm-hmm. So as far as Salem State is concerned, what are maybe the biggest changes that you have either instigated or helped to make happen with your communications team?
Sure. One thing we tried to do is sort of unite our communications under a single brand message, which is something that's been a little more challenging. We're very siloed in our marketing, particularly enrollment marketing. We did graduate marketing over here, undergraduate over here, continuing education over there. We're trying to bring all that together. We launched the first ever university-wide branding campaign last year, the Find Your Passion campaign, which I think really spoke to what our students do when they come. We have a lot of first-generation students who often don't know what their opportunities are when they walk in the door. And we open up a lot of doors for them over time. They really get a chance to sort of explore those passions. So we've never done a branding campaign for the university before, which is not untypical, I think, for state universities in particular. Public higher ed is a little behind where the privates work because the resources haven't always been there. So the focus hasn't always been there. So just trying to bring everything under sort of a common message.
How did you make that campaign successful?
A lot of work on the front end to make sure that we had the right messages, a lot of focus groups with students and other audiences to make sure that what we were saying was going to resonate with them. We actually brought together parents and prospective students too, so we know that's an important part. And then whether a term like passion was going to seem too wishy-washy to them, where they really were job focused and like, no, I want my kids to be passionate. I want my son or daughter to be really excited about what they're doing. So that idea resonated with them. It certainly did with the students. And then the faculty too, because they feel like their job is to get students excited and passionate about what they're doing. So all that front end work to make sure we had the messaging right and that it was going to resonate, I think is what made it successful.
That's wonderful. And if you were to choose one thing, one of the biggest ways in which that branding campaign impacted the institution, what would it be?
I think you got the internal community sort of feeling more pride and saying, yeah, somebody should be out there telling our message. We do great work here, but we don't always sort of tell it. We hide our light under a bushel a little bit.
Wow.
So I think just having the internal folks saying, yeah, that's who we are, that's great. And hearing students tell their stories, I think really made them feel good about what they do.
And that is, branding itself is a big change in terms of the way that education institutions have talked about or embraced the discipline.
Sure, we couldn't talk about marketing at first. Once we could start talking about marketing, then we couldn't talk about branding. That was it. And now, I have faculty come to me all the time when I talk about their brand, their department's brand, and I'm thinking, well, which cuts both ways, because your brand is also the university brand. So let's talk about how your program fits into the university brand, and not necessarily creating a whole new brand for your school or your program. So we have those conversations a lot on campus. I joked, I think on Twitter, that with all these chief marketing officers here, who's back on the home front keeping our faculty from creating their own logos? They're running rampant right now without any guidance whatsoever, going, I've got to do design. And there's no one to stop them because we're all here. But
constant vigilance, right?
Yes. So we are, as the brand owners, we have to be vigilant like that. But I think for the most part, people get it now, which they didn't 20 years ago. They really, it was higher education was this sort of pure thing that you didn't sully with marketing, and now everybody understands. We're in a very competitive marketplace now, and branding and marketing are just super critical.
So looking forward, marketing was a dirty word, branding is a dirty word. What's the next big dirty word that higher ed is wrestling with?
I think we'll start talking about customers in a way. We'll talk about students as customers. And you hear a little bit of that, and I think customer is actually the wrong term. I think with their clients, not customers. It's more of a partnership than it is we're selling something to them. So I think we need to start thinking of our students almost as clients in a way that we haven't before, and making sure that this a mutually beneficial relationship that goes on between us. It's not just us selling something to them.
Good deal. Well, we'll stay tuned.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for chatting with me. Much appreciated.